lecture 10 under thermal properties of matter. So today one more problem is left out under the expansion of solids. So let me complete that. It was given in the NCERT textbook. So first let me one very important point I want to say in that problem. So let me complete that problem today. Again I go for the theory concept. Is it clear? So please observe. Let me complete this problem and we go for the theory concept, and again in the next class let us go for remaining problems. Okay, so the one expansion based on that, you can observe a brass rod of length. Problem number 10 it is. A brass rod. A brass rod of length 50 centimeter and diameter 3 centimeter is joined to a steel rod of the same length and diameter. What is the change? What is the change in length of the combined rod at 250 degrees centigrade. If the original lengths are at 40 degrees centigrade, if there a thermal stress developed at the junction. The ends of the rod, are free to expand. Please observe in this question, that is the problem given here, a brass rod of length 50 centimeter and diameter 3 centimeter. So one of the rod is brass. Okay, is joined to a steel rod. It is joined to the steel rod of same length and diameter. Means identical length and identical diameter. Identical means same length and same diameter, but different rods. One is of brass rod, another is of steel rod. What is the change in the length of the combined rod at 250 degrees centigrade? What is the change in length? You have to calculate change in length of the combined rod. Both the rods will be combined, joined together. So at 250 degrees centigrade, what is the change in length? If the original lengths are 40 degrees centigrade, if their original lengths are 40 degrees centigrade. So earlier their original length was 40 degrees centigrade. Now it has been heated to 250 degrees centigrade. So naturally there will be an expansion, and that expansion due to which we are calculating change in length. So that point you have to calculate first step. After completing this, they have tagged one more point. If there is thermal stress, if there is thermal stress developed at the junction, is there any stress is developed at the junction? So you have to calculate whether this thermal stress is developed at the junction. If it is there, you have to say yes. If it is not, no. There is no, that is thermal stress is developed at the junction. You have to say clearly. The ends of the rod are free to expand. So the rod's ends are free to expand, but both are combined at one point. That point is called as junction, and that junction you have to calculate whether the thermal stress is developed or not. And the ends, that is free to expand. So these conditions they have given. So you have to take first step. First one brass rod, another is of steel rod. So both are joined together. First you have to join together, and they are asking you to calculate what will be the change in length. That you have to calculate separately change in length when their temperature has been raised from 40 degrees centigrade to 250 degrees centigrade. This point you have to notice here. Okay. So after completing that, the combined rod you have to calculate. Along with that, you have to explain this step whether thermal stress is developed or not. If it is there, yes. If it is not there, no, thermal stress is not developed, you have to say. And finally, they have said one condition, the ends of the rod are free to expand. The ends they are expanding, they are free to expand, they have said this condition. Hope you understood this question now. So, it is not a difficult problem. It is as good as a similar type of previous problems. But here one extra step they have given here, that concept you have to calculate. Earlier only one rod were given, but in this problem they have given two rods and they have joined. Nothing but they have combined the rod. So this the one special type problem they have given this. Now this is an NCERT problem. So please observe what to be calculated first. Okay. First let me write the length of the rod. So let me say brass rod, and one more. It is steel rod. Both are there here. So these two rods are there. Both the rods are having same length. So length is of 50 centimeter. And diameter it is of 3 centimeter. This condition they have given. Okay. And they have given the one. Earlier these two rods are temperature 40 degrees centigrade. So let me say earlier temperature of these two rods is T1, which is of 40 degrees centigrade, and it has been heated to 250 degrees centigrade. So let me write T2 is equal to 250 degrees centigrade. Okay. So this temperature is given. Now next step what we have to calculate by using this. First let us calculate what is change in temperature. So that temperature we write it as delta T. The delta T is equal to T2 minus T1. This becomes 250 minus 40 degree will become, it is nothing but 210 degrees centigrade. So this is the one change in temperature. This is what we have calculated by using those two temperatures. Okay. Next, they have given here only these things, but nowhere they have given the coefficient of expansion for brass as well as for the one steel rod. So we have to take the one reference of the one chart, and then you have to take the one brass and steel rod. But at present I will provide you the coefficient of expansion of brass rod as well as steel rod. Using that, let us calculate now. Okay. So what will be the coefficient of expansion for brass? For brass rod, that is alpha B is equal to 2 into 10 raised to minus 5 per degree centigrade. This is the coefficient of expansion for brass. And one more, it is steel. It is 1.2 into 10 raised to minus 5 per degree centigrade. Please observe the SI, the units are same and it is always followed by 10 raised to minus 5. This combination will be same. But these two values, in the previous class I have given some example based on bimetallic steel. At that time I have given the concept of brass rod along with aluminum rod and iron rod. So brass, you know, it is 2 into 10 raised to minus 5. In some of the problems we have solved, the coefficient of expansion for steel rod is, that is 1.2. So by the help of them I have written these values. Okay. Now let us calculate what is the change in length for brass rod. Change in length for brass rod means delta LS. Delta, that is brass rod, LB. Let me write for your convenience. Change in length for brass rod, delta LB. So for this we write it is L alpha into delta T. What is this alpha? Alpha beta. What is alpha beta? Coefficient of expansion for brass rod. So this is for the brass rod. What is the formula for steel rod? Similar type of formula, it is delta LS is equal to L alpha S delta T. Hope you understood what I have written. Same formula we are writing, but instead of LB I take alpha beta. If it is delta LS, I will take alpha LS. That is alpha S. Okay. So this is how we have to remember the formula. Now let me calculate separately the values. Here, one condition you know already, both the rods are having same length. So naturally you can write same length for both the rods. But only the coefficient of expansions are different. For both the rods, temperature is the same. So let me write what is it now. This is 50 into alpha beta. It is 2 into 10 raised to minus 5 into delta T, 210. Alright. So here this will be by just multiplying 210 into 2 into 50. You get it is of 0.21. It is 0.21 centimeter. Please observe how did I write this units. Here we have centimeter, right? But for this 2 into 10 raised to minus 5 per degree centigrade. This is 210 degree centigrade. Degree centigrade, per degree centigrade both gets cancelled here. Only left out is 0.21 centimeter. Hope you understand what I said. So please remember this condition. The units for the length is 0.21 centimeter. Okay. Now let me write for this delta LB, that is LS. LS is equal to 50 into alpha S, 1.2 into 10 raised to minus 5 into 210. Alright. Same formula it is, but values are same. Only alpha S is different here. For this you are getting 0.126 centimeter. 0.126 centimeter. Please observe here, it is here 3 digits are there. Since it is more than 5, I take an approximation here. Because of the more than 6, you can add 1 to the previous number. So you are ready to write delta LS is equal to 0.13 centimeter. Hope you understood this one. This you have learnt in mechanics first chapter, where you have learned significant figures and also how to write these condition, how to take the approximation for this. So with the help of that I have written this. I have taken only 2 digits, that is 0.13 centimeter. You have got both the rods now. Now since the rods are free to expand their combined length of these rods. Okay, change in length of the rods. Okay, now let me write here. For example, if this is brass rod, let me say this is brass rod, this is steel rod. Let me write this is steel rod, this is brass rod, right? So here, now let me say both are having same length, both are having same length, both are joined together here. So this is point is called as junction. We are saying this is called a junction. What are this? This is free end. This is a free end. Please observe, this is free end. So here already in the question they have given the ends of the rod are free to expand. So at this end they are ready to expand here. Free ends, they are ready to they are free to expand here. They are saying at the ends. So you need not worry about that ends. What about here? Both the rods have been calculated change in length. After repeating, there is an expansion and they have joined here, combined rod here. At this junction, you have joined them, both are joined together. Now you have to write change in length of the combined rod. So separately I have calculated. Now I will write change in length since the rods have been, that is ends of the rod is free to expand, change in length of the combined rod. So let me write since the rods are free to expand, are free to expand, are free to expand at its ends, are free to expand at its ends. Therefore, change in length, change in length of the combined rod, change in length of the combined rod are. So what is change in length of the combined rod? So length you have to write, both the lengths you have to add them. So let me write, what is it? That is equal to delta LB plus delta LS. Delta LB is how much? It is 0.21 plus it is 13. Right? So 0.21 plus 0.13. So finally you get it is of 3 plus 1 is 4, 2 plus 1 it is 3. So 0.34 centimeter. This is 0.34 centimeter. Change in length of the combined rod. Okay. Now we have completed up to this step. Up to this step. Now one more point I have said. If there is thermal stress is developed at the junction, is there, you have to remember. You please, the question itself is not correct. Is there a thermal stress developed at the junction? You please take this point as is. Is there a thermal stress developed at the junction? Is it developed? Junction they are saying here. At this position, no. There is the one at the junction, thermal stress will never be developed. Only the one stress will be developed at the ends. But they have given the question at ends, it is free to expand. Because in the earlier class I have given one example. If these two are rigid supports, if this is the one rigid support, for this we are joining the rod and we are just heating it. So naturally when you heat it, it expands at its ends. Whenever it expands at its ends means naturally a stress is developed at its ends. So that concept we have learnt under thermal stress. But here already they have said at the ends there is no rigid support, it is free here. Naturally whenever it is free to expand. They have given in the question itself. So you need not think of the ends, but they are asking you what is at this junction, means at this position. But at that position the stress will never be developed, only at the ends the stress will be developed. because there is no space to expand. At that time they just they hang here. So naturally you can say it is, there is no stress is developed at its junction. That concept you have to remember. So please write, as the combined rod is free to expand, as the combined rod, as the combined rod is free to expand, no thermal stress is developed, no thermal stress is developed at its junction. Developed at its junction. This is the one condition you have to remember. So please observe. Here, as you have solved in the previous problem, similar type problem is only one step they have said, this thermal stress. To explain this, you should know the concept of thermal stress. That thermal stress, when you are explaining, when the rod is fixed to a rigid support, naturally if you heat it, there is no space to expand because it is a fixed position. At that time, stress will be developed at its ends. That is what you have learnt. That whenever it is heated, the rod, naturally stress is developed at its ends. That concept you have learnt. But in this problem, to make you to get confused, they have given this question. But you need not get confused here. Just remember, this thermal stress is developed only at its ends. But here they are asking only at the junction. So therefore, you can say there is no thermal stress. No thermal stress is developed at its junction. This concept you have to remember. So if you know the concept, clearly you can say this one. There is no difficulty. For this, it will carry 1 mark. The remaining steps carries remaining marks. Okay. So when you understand the concept clearly, then you are able to answer this without any difficulty. Is it clear? So I have solved nearly 10 problems based on the one expansions along with the different scales, Fahrenheit scale and one more Celsius scale and Kelvin scale. So based on this we have solved the one problems. Now let me stop problems today because up to the end of these expansions I have solved here regarding the scales as well as expansion. Now let me stop. Let us go for the remaining theory concept. Okay. I hope you understood all the problems. So they are very simple. Only just remember the formulas. You can solve very easily. This is one. Right. Now let me go for the remaining theory concept. And remember everyone, in the last class we have learned the concept of the expansions. So as and when you heat it, the expansion takes place. As and when you cool it, contraction takes place. This concept you are already familiar. But remember we have learned expansion in solids. So whenever you come across expansion in solids, there you have learned the concept of different types. One is called as linear expansion. Second one, you have learned superficial expansion. Third one, cubical expansion. Also called as volume expansion. But remember, when you speak particularly about solids, you can explain the one linear, superficial as well as cubical expansion. If you come across liquids, at that time you are able to use the one cubical expansion because volume expansion. It is also called as volume expansion. So you already know familiar with the one concept. If you put a liquid in a container, that liquid cannot be held in your hand. It should be put in a container. When you put in a container, naturally the one expansion will takes place even for the liquids. The one along with the solids also you can explain for expansion for liquids. Okay, so this concept let us learn today. So when you speak about expansion of liquids, you particularly speak about the one volume expansion. Volume expansion can be explained for both solids as well as for liquids. Already we have learnt the concept of solids in the previous class. Today let us learn the expansion based on liquids, particularly the one cubical expansion. Okay, right. Now let me explain explain the one concept of expansion of liquids. So just remember, all these days you know solids. If I take this is a solid, when I say this is a solid, this is solid can be heated. As and when you heat, there is a change in length because expansion takes place. So by chance if you cool it, contraction takes place. This concept you know. So cooling means there is a decrease in temperature. Suppose heating means you are increasing the temperature. So that is what you know. So when you increase means expansion. When you decrease the temperature, that is nothing but called as the one contraction. You are nothing but cooling the one substance. Naturally a contraction takes place. Right? This we particularly say about in solids. But when you come across liquids, there is a slight change. What is that change you come across? Where, remember, for liquids, there is a peculiar behavior, particularly for water. Especially for water. So, it is a peculiar behavior. It is not showing the one similar behavior as like solids. It shows peculiar behavior. What is it peculiar behavior? Usually, when you heat from 0 to 4 degree, it is understood there is a rise in temperature. When you rise in temperature, expansion should be taken place, but that does not take place in particularly for liquids. When you heat from 0 to 4 degrees centigrade, naturally the liquid like water contracts. When you just cool it, it expands. So this is the one peculiar behavior of water. For this we give the special name called as anomalous expansion of water. So I will speak about anomalous expansion of water, nothing but peculiar behavior of water in which it changes its expansion and contraction with rise and the one cooling of temperatures. Okay, let me just explain that with the help of figure. How it explains regarding density. When you speak about liquid, the liquids do have density. So then based on density, how does it varies? And based on temperature, how liquid expands. That expansion I will explain by using But all liquids, I am saying all liquids expand on heating, but water does not show that property. So almost all liquids, almost all liquids expand on heating, right? So this is almost all liquids. As many as liquids you come across, among all liquids, that is all liquids expand on heating. So this expansion takes place whenever it is heated. But if you take water, this does not show this property. That will not show the property when you heat it. expansion does not take place. So what does it happens when water at 0 degrees centigrade is heated? So whenever it is heated, naturally its volume decreases. So water at 0 degrees centigrade, if it is heated, that is water at 0 degrees centigrade, if it is heated, what happens? Volume decreases. Please observe, volume decreases. Right? So, like volume decreases means what happens? Here you can say nothing but you can say volume decreases, therefore natural density increases. So, how do you say this? Here, remember, density is equal to mass by volume. This is our formula. I said at 0 degrees centigrade, if it is heated, volume decreases. When volume decreases means natural density increases because they are inversely proportional. But mass remains constant. Mass does not change. It remains constant. So I want to say only with respect to density and volume. So when you say this concept, they are inversely proportional. Naturally, when volume decreases, volume decreases means naturally density increases. Density increases. This concept we can remember. That is the one concept. Suppose at 4 degrees centigrade, what happens? Volume increases. At 4 degrees centigrade, at 4 degrees centigrade, volume increases. So what happens to density? So naturally volume increases means density decreases. So this concept you remember. 0 degrees centigrade if you heat it, volume decreases, naturally density increases. But at 4 degrees centigrade, volume increases, density decreases. So this concept you observe, and that is you can observe what happens at 4 degrees centigrade. This water will be having maximum density. At what time? That is that 4 degrees centigrade, the water will be having maximum density. At this 4 degrees centigrade water has a maximum density. So that is the concept you observe. Now let me draw figures based on this when to show this volume and density. So let me take, I take an example of water, and I take the example of water, 1 kg of water I will take, and I just heat it. So when I just heat it means naturally temperature increases. So when temperature increases from 0 to 100 degrees centigrade, how the one behavior of this water can be explained using graph. Let me explain you how does it varies. So I will just heat the one water. First I draw the graph. Here I will just take the graph x-axis versus that is y-axis, where I show the example of temperature. Here it is the 1 kg volume, 1 kg of water. 1 kg of water I will take, and that water, when I just take water 1 kg of water means I take the example that is volume. I take along y-axis volume, along x-axis temperature, and then I am heating from 0 to 100 degrees centigrade. So I will just show the one values. So I will show the values here like this. So what happens here? Here this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So here at this temperature at 4 degrees centigrade, what happens to volume? Now let me show that is volume decreases, but density it is increasing. So naturally what shall I show in this formula? At 4 degrees centigrade. Here this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And remaining temperature what happens? It increases. So naturally I can show here like this. This is the one graph where you can observe. This is thermal expansion of water. Thermal expansion of water. So here at 4 degrees centigrade it decreases. But as you increase the temperature, it naturally volume increases. When volume increases means naturally density decreases. But remember, when volume decreases, so here from here to here volume decreases. Naturally at this position density increases. This is the one graph you can observe here. But as the volume increases, density decreases. This concept you have to remember. Okay, and one more example I will show you variation of density of water with temperature. Variation of water, variation of density of water with temperature. With temperature. So here I just draw the graph where I show the one density. Is kg per meter cube. This is one density. Here you see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the one graph I can take here. So here in this case, so you know, density increases at what time? Volume decreases. So here remember, density increases means at 4 degrees centigrade. So here remember, at this position, here this is the position, and here it goes on, volume goes on decreasing. Here volume decreases. Naturally what happens? Density increases. But here, as you observe, density increases. When you say density increases, at this position up to 1 maximum, nothing but volume will, that is density becomes, my variation of this density of what will be? Temperature. We are observing here how the density is maximum at what position? That is at 4 degrees centigrade. So you can observe that is density increases, and also at 4 degrees centigrade what happens? Density goes on decreasing. This is the one position you can observe up to 0 to degree, 0 to 4 degree. You can observe this is 0 degree, this is 4 degree. So 0 to 4 degree you can observe what happens? 0 to 4 degree, the one density increases. 0 to 4 degree, please observe, density increases. 0 to 4 degree. So here you can observe that this increases. When once it reaches 4 degrees centigrade, volume increases. Therefore here if you come across here at this position, then 4 degrees centigrade, already it is 4 degrees centigrade. At this position after 4 degrees centigrade, it goes on decreasing. This goes on decreasing. So this is the one graph you can observe here, variation of density of water with temperature, and this is the one volume versus temperature, how thermal expansion takes place. So these conditions you just remember. For this you just remember the formula, density is equal to mass by volume. We are only speaking about density and volume. So at 4 degrees centigrade and at 0 degrees centigrade. So these conditions you just remember. Hope you understand. So this is a peculiar behavior of water. But remaining liquids will expand when you heat it. Almost all liquids will expand on heating, especially only water at 0 degrees centigrade. What happens? 4 degrees centigrade. Volume goes on decreasing. When once it reaches 4 degree and above 4 degree, naturally volume increases. This is the one condition. Up to here it decreases, now it increases. Now this density you are observing here, this you can observe here, it goes on increasing up to what? At 0 degree centigrade, density increases. Here 0 degree, here it increases up to what? Up to 4 degree. When once it reaches here, it goes on decreasing. So this concept we just remember, this is a peculiar behavior of water. So we call it as anomalous expansion of water, and this will explain one practical application. What is a practical application? Where it is an importance for the marine animals like fish, maybe any water aquatic animals. And these aquatic animals will survive in water because of this peculiar behavior of water. Otherwise, they would have not survived, they would have not alive. So, this is the peculiar behavior of water will help the one. It gives a favorable effect for aquatic animals. Favorable effect for, that is application, it is a practical application. This is practical application, you can say. It is a favorable application, that is effect for aquatic animals. Aquatic animals or marine animals. Aquatic means the one which are living under water. Marine animals which will survive in water. They survive in water, they will be alive. So because of this peculiar behavior of water. Because when you observe during winter season, the one water in the pond, if you observe the pond, the water at the surface, suppose if it is severe cold, here deposition of ice takes place. Right? But here inside the one below, it maintains 4 degrees centigrade. Because of this, these aquatic animals, fish or any animals which are surviving in water, they will come below the water. They will be moving here, but that will come below the water. Because of this, they will be alive. Due to which, this is because of this peculiar behavior of water, they survive. Hence, this is the one, the nature's gift you can observe that will help the aquatic animals to survive inside water even during severe winter, during severe cold. Also, they survive inside water because they cannot come out of the water. If they come out, they cannot survive. But they have to live in water. But the deposition of ice will be on the surface, but the water which is below this will be maintaining 4 degrees centigrade, due to which they survive inside the water. This is the peculiar behavior of water. Because of this, I say it's a favorable effect to the one aquatic animals. So this is the one you can observe the one aquatic animals how they survive in water. Otherwise, the one no marine animals would survive if this was not a peculiar behavior of water. They would have destroyed completely in this nature. But that will not do so because of this nature's gift. Because of the peculiar behavior of water, it is a favorable effect for aquatic animals. Even during severe winter, they survive inside water. Hope this is the one practical application you can come across in our day-to-day life. So, hope this is how much importance we come across in our day-to-day life. So, please observe. Because we people, when we feel cold, we will use a blanket. We will just close our windows. We will shutters, everything, and we put a blanket and we sit inside the house. But or maybe sometimes we use room heating system. We will survive inside our room. But the one animals which live underwater, the nature's gift itself explains the peculiar behavior of water will help these animals to survive even during severe winter. Okay, thank you. This is the one thing you have to appreciate the nature's gift. Hope you understand this correctly. Let me stop today. Remaining, let us learn in the next class.